Jake Morrison woke up in pain. His whole body hurt. The white ceiling of the medical room was too bright. He tried to move his right arm, but it would not respond. His leg felt like it was on fire, even though he could see it was still there under the thin blanket. A nurse walked in. She smiled at him, but her eyes looked sad. "Good morning, Sergeant Morrison. How are you feeling?" Jake tried to speak, but his throat was dry. The nurse gave him some water. He drank it slowly. "What happened?" he finally asked. "You were at Outpost Artemis. There was an explosion. You have been here for 2 weeks." 2 weeks. Jake tried to remember. There had been fighting. The Krell soldiers had attacked their position. He remembered fire and screaming. Then nothing. "Am I going to be okay?" he asked. The nurse did not answer right away. That told him everything. "The doctors saved your life. But there is damage to your nervous system. Your brain and your nerves are not working together properly anymore." Jake closed his eyes. He was a soldier. He had been fighting for 3 years. If he could not fight anymore, what was he? Over the next few days, doctors came and went. They ran tests. They asked him questions. "Can you feel this? Can you move that?" Most of the time, he could not. His body was broken. One doctor told him he might recover in a few years with therapy. Maybe. Another doctor said he would never be the same. Jake had survived 3 years of war. He had seen friends die. He had fought aliens who wanted to kill all humans. He had been brave, but now, lying in this bed, unable to move properly, he felt afraid for the first time. On the 5th day, a woman in a commander's uniform came to see him. Her name was Lisa Bennett. She pulled up a chair and sat next to his bed. "Sergeant Morrison, I am here to offer you something," she said. Her voice was calm and direct. Jake liked that. He was tired of people feeling sorry for him. "What kind of something?" he asked. "A way to get better. Maybe even a way to be better than you were before." Jake looked at her carefully. "What is the catch?" Commander Bennett smiled a little. "Smart question. The catch is big. But let me explain first." She pulled out a tablet and showed him a picture of an alien. It looked almost human, but its skin was silver and seemed to glow softly. Its eyes were large and purple. "This is a Velani. Have you heard of them?" Jake shook his head. "No." "Are they enemies?" "No. They are allies. New allies. The Velani have technology we do not understand. They can do things with the mind that seem impossible. They have offered to help our wounded soldiers." "How?" Jake asked. "They can bond with you. Connect their mind to yours. Through this connection, they can help your body heal faster. Much faster. But the bond is permanent. Once it forms, you and the Velani will be connected for life." Jake stared at the picture on the tablet. "Connected how?" "You will feel each other's emotions, share thoughts sometimes. You will never be truly alone again. But you will also never be truly separate." "That sounds crazy," Jake said. "It is," Commander Bennett agreed. "We do not fully understand it. The Velani say it is like becoming family. Closer than family. Some of our scientists think it is dangerous. Others think it is amazing, but I will tell you this. The soldiers who have tried it are healing. Really healing." Jake was quiet for a long time. Finally, he asked, "Why are they helping us?" "They believe all thinking beings are connected somehow. They say war breaks these connections. They want to fix that. Help us heal, so we can stop fighting and start understanding each other." "That sounds nice," Jake said. "But we are still at war with the Krell." "Yes, we are. But maybe this is a start to something better." Jake looked down at his useless arm. "What do I have to do?" "Just say yes. If you agree, we will bring your companion here. Her name is Zara. If the bond works, your life will change completely. And if I say no, then you stay here. You do normal therapy. Maybe you get better in a few years. Maybe you do not. It was not really a choice. Jake knew that. But Commander Bennett was giving him the dignity of making the decision himself. "I will do it," Jake said. 2 days later, they brought Zara to meet him. Jake was sitting up in bed when she walked in. She was small, maybe 5.5 feet tall. Her silver skin really did glow, like she had swallowed moonlight. Her large purple eyes looked at him with an expression he could not read. She walked slowly to his bed. "Hello, Jake Morrison," she said. Her voice was soft and musical. "I am Zara Thal. You may call me Zara." "Hello," Jake said. He felt nervous. This alien was going to be inside his mind. "We touch, skin to skin. The bond will form naturally if we are compatible. Afik, what if we are not compatible? Then nothing happens. We will find you another companion." Zara held out her hand. "Are you ready?" Jake looked at her hand. It had 4 fingers instead of 5. The skin looked smooth and warm. He thought about his broken body. He thought about spending years in this bed. He thought about never being a soldier again. He reached out with his left hand, the one that still worked, and took her hand. The moment their skin touched, Jake felt something rush through him. It was like electricity, but warm. It spread from his hand up his arm and into his chest. He gasped. Zara's eyes went wide. Then he felt her. Not just her hand in his, but her presence in his mind. She was there, calm and gentle, like a quiet voice in the back of his thoughts. He could feel her emotions. Curiosity, hope, kindness, a little fear. "I can feel you," Jake whispered. "And I can feel you," Zara said. "You are in pain. So much pain. Not just your body, your heart, too." Tears came to Jake's eyes. He had not cried since he was a child. But now, with this alien in his mind, he could not stop. All the fear and sadness and anger he had been holding inside came pouring out. Zara did not let go of his hand. Instead, she moved closer. "It is okay," she said softly. "I am here now. We will heal together." And in that moment, Jake felt something he had not felt in 3 years. He felt safe. The bond had formed. His life would never be the same. But for the first time since waking up in this medical room, Jake felt hope. Whatever came next, he would not face it alone. The first week with Zara was strange. Jake could feel her in his mind all the time. It was like having someone standing right behind him. But the person was inside his own head. Sometimes it was comforting. Sometimes it made him feel crowded. Zara stayed in his room most of the time. She did not need much sleep like humans did. At night, while Jake slept, she would sit in the chair and meditate. He could feel her presence even in his dreams. It made his nightmares less scary. During the day, she would help him with his exercises. The physical therapist would come in and make Jake try to move his arm or leg. Before Zara, these exercises were almost impossible. But now, when Zara placed her hands on him, he could feel warmth flowing into his damaged nerves. The movements became a little easier each day. "How are you doing this?" Jake asked one morning. Zara smiled. "I am not doing it. You are. I am just helping you remember how." "That does not make sense. Your body knows how to heal itself," Zara explained. But the injury confused it. "Through our bond, I can show your body the right path. Like giving directions to someone who is lost." Jake's arm moved a little more than yesterday. He could lift it a few inches off the bed now. It was progress. Small, but real. "Thank you," he said. Through their bond, he felt Zara's happiness. She did not need to smile for him to know she was pleased. As the days passed, Jake learned more about Zara. She was young for a Velani, only 25 years old. On her planet, that was still considered very young. She had volunteered to come to Earth and help human soldiers because she believed in peace. "My people used to fight wars too," she told him one afternoon. "Long ago, before we learned to bond with each other." We almost destroyed ourselves. What changed? Jake asked. We learned to feel what others felt. When you can feel someone else's pain as your own, it becomes very hard to hurt them. Jake thought about that. Is that what you feel from me? My pain? Yes. But I also feel your strength, your kindness, your love for your friends who died. You are a good person. Jake Morrison. Jake was not sure about that. He had killed many Krell soldiers. Did that make him a good person? But Zara could feel his doubt through the bond. You fought to protect others, she said softly. That is different from fighting to hurt. Do not punish yourself for surviving. These conversations happened without words sometimes. Jake would think something, and Zara would respond in his mind. It was the strangest thing he had ever experienced. But it was also becoming normal. Other bonded pairs visited them. There was a soldier named Ben Hughes, who had bonded with a Vaylani named Kivan. Ben had lost his legs in an explosion. Now, with Kivan's help, he was learning to walk with new prosthetics. The bond made his control much better. There was also a woman named Amy Winters. Her companion was called Thess. Amy had been blinded by a Krell weapon. Her eyes still did not work, but through her bond with Thess, she could sense the world around her in a different way. It was not sight, but she could feel where things were. It is like the world has a shape I can touch with my mind, Amy explained. Thess helps me understand what I am sensing. Jake was amazed by all of this. The Vaylani were changing what it meant to be human. Or maybe they were just showing humans what they could be. After 2 weeks, Jake could move his arm freely. His leg was getting stronger too. The doctors were shocked. One of them said Jake was healing 10 times faster than normal. Another said it should be impossible. But it was happening. The bond was real. The healing was real. One night, Jake could not sleep. His mind was too full of thoughts. Zara was sitting in her usual chair, but he knew she was awake. Can I ask you something? Jake said into the dark room. Of course. What is your world like? Your home? Through the bond, Zara shared memories with him. Jake suddenly could see things he had never seen before. There was a forest, but the trees were made of crystal. They chimed in the wind like bells. There was a city that floated in the sky, held up by technology Jake did not understand. There were Vaylani everywhere, moving together, like they were dancing. It is beautiful, Jake whispered. Would you like to see more? Zara asked. Yes. She showed him more. He saw Vaylani children learning to bond with each other. He saw great libraries full of knowledge. He saw ceremonies where many Vaylani would join their minds together in something called a unity circle. When many minds bonded at once, Zara explained, they could share feelings and ideas that one person alone could never understand. Have you ever been in a unity circle? Jake asked. Many times. It is how we make important decisions on my world. Everyone contributes. Everyone is heard. That sounds impossible. How can hundreds of people think together? Not think, feel. We feel together. And from those feelings, truth emerges. Jake tried to imagine it. A whole planet of beings who could feel each other's emotions. No lies. No misunderstandings. Just pure connection. Is that what you want for humans? He asked. For us to bond like you do? For us? Zara was quiet for a moment. I want humans to find their own path. The bond is just a tool. What you do with it is up to you. Jake thought about that. Then he decided to share something with her. Through the bond, he pushed memories toward her. He showed her Earth, his home in Colorado, mountains covered in snow, his mother making breakfast, his father teaching him to fish, his little sister laughing at his jokes. He showed her the day he joined the military, his pride at graduation, his fear during his first battle, the friends he made, the friends he lost. He showed her the good and the bad, everything that made him who he was. When he was done, he felt Zara's emotions through the bond. She was crying. He could not see her in the dark, but he felt her tears, as if they were his own. "Thank you for sharing that with me," she said. "Your world is beautiful too. Different from mine, but just as precious." "I am sorry I showed you the war parts," Jake said. "Do not be sorry. I needed to see. I needed to understand what you have been through." They sat in silence for a while. Then Zara said something that surprised him. "You think the Krell are monsters, but they are not." Jake felt anger rise in him. "They killed my friends." "I know. And I am sorry. But they are also afraid. They are fighting because they think you will destroy them. We are not trying to destroy them. We are defending ourselves." "Yes, and they think they are defending themselves too." Both sides are trapped in fear. Jake wanted to argue, but something stopped him. Through the bond, he could feel that Zara was not trying to upset him. She was trying to help him see something important. "What am I supposed to do with that information?" he asked. "I do not know yet. But I think your bond with me is part of something bigger. Something that could change everything." Jake did not understand what she meant, but he was too tired to think about it anymore. He closed his eyes and let sleep take him. In his dreams, he saw crystal forests and floating cities. He saw Krell soldiers lowering their weapons. He saw humans and aliens shaking hands. He saw a future that seemed impossible. But 3 weeks ago, bonding his mind with an alien had seemed impossible too. Maybe, Jake thought as he drifted deeper into sleep, impossible just meant it had not happened yet. After 6 weeks, Jake could walk again. His right arm worked perfectly. His leg was almost as good as new. The doctors called it a miracle. Commander Bennett called it proof that the bonding program worked. Jake called it his new life. He was moved out of the medical center and into regular housing. Zara came with him, of course. They were given a small apartment on the military base. 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a living area. It felt strange to have normal space after so long in a hospital room. "This is nice," Zara said, looking around. She seemed pleased with the windows. Vailani liked natural light. "Yeah," Jake agreed. "It is nice to have some privacy." But privacy was a strange concept now. Even in separate rooms, he could feel Zara. The bond did not care about walls or distance. Wherever she was, he knew. Whatever she felt, he felt a little bit too. It should have been annoying. Instead, it was comforting. He was never alone anymore. Commander Bennett came to visit them on their first day in the new apartment. She brought news. "I have a job for you, if you want it," she said, sitting down at their small table. "We need analysts. People who can look at Krell communications and find patterns. With your bond to Zara, you might see things our regular analysts miss." "I am not an analyst," Jake said. "I am a soldier." "You were a soldier," Bennett corrected gently. "Now you can be something else, something we need just as much." Jake looked at Zara. Through the bond, he felt her encouragement. She thought this was a good idea. "What would I be looking for?" he asked. "Anything useful. Troop movements, supply lines, communication patterns. But honestly, we do not know what you might find. The bond gives you a different perspective. We want to see what that perspective shows us." Jake thought about it. He wanted to help. He wanted to be useful. And he did not want to go back to combat. Something had changed in him. The bond with Zara had made killing seem harder somehow, more real. "Okay," he said. He started work the next week. The intelligence office was in a building near the center of the base. There were dozens of analysts there, all staring at screens filled with alien text and audio recordings. Major Greg Barnes ran the department. He was a serious man with gray hair and tired eyes. He showed Jake to a workstation. "We intercept thousands of Krell messages every day," Barnes explained. "Most of it is routine. Supply requests. Position reports. Boring stuff. But sometimes there are clues hidden in the boring stuff. Your job is to find those clues." Jake sat down and looked at his screen. The Krell language looked like scratches and symbols. He could not read it. There is a translation program, Barnes said, showing him. It is not perfect, but it helps. Zara pulled up a chair next to Jake. She looked at the screen with interest. May I? She asked. Of course, Barnes said. He seemed curious about what she would do. Zara placed her hand on Jake's arm. Through the bond, Jake suddenly felt something shift in his mind. The symbols on the screen started to make more sense. Not because he could read them, but because he could feel the emotion behind them. The Krell communicate with more than just words, Zira explained. There are emotional frequencies in their language. Most humans cannot detect them. But through our bond, you can. Jake stared at the screen. She was right. He could feel something. This message felt routine. Bored. Just a soldier reporting that everything was normal. He moved to the next message. This one felt different. Anxious. Worried. This one is interesting, Jake said. Barnes leaned in. What does it say? Jake read the translation. It was a supply officer reporting that rations were low. Normal stuff. But the feeling underneath was wrong. He is scared, Jake said. Not just worried, actually scared. Of what? Barnes asked. I do not know. But this is not normal fear. This is fear of something specific. Zira closed her eyes, focusing through the bond. There is more. Read the next message, from this same sender. Jake found it. Another routine report. But again, the fear was there. And something else. Hope? I think this person is trying to tell us something, Jake said. But they cannot say it directly. Why not? Barnes asked. Because someone is watching. Someone is reading their messages. They are being careful. Jake spent the rest of the day analyzing messages from this same sender. He found 12 more over the past month. All routine on the surface. All carrying hidden emotions underneath. By the end of the day, Jake was exhausted. Using the bond this way was tiring. But he had found something. This soldier is part of a group, Jake told Barnes and Zara. A group that does not agree with the war. They want it to stop, but they cannot say so openly. Barnes looked skeptical. You got all that from some feelings? Yes. That is not evidence. That is guessing. Zara spoke up. It is not guessing. Emotions do not lie. This sender is genuine. There is a group within the Krell military that opposes the war. Barnes rubbed his face. He looked like he had not slept in days. Even if you are right, what can we do with this information? Find more of them, Jake said. If there is one, there are others. If there are others, maybe there are a lot of them. Maybe enough to make a difference. Barnes thought about that. Finally, he nodded. Okay. Keep looking. But I want daily reports. And if you find anything concrete, tell me immediately. Over the next 2 weeks, Jake and Zara found 17 more Krell, who seemed to be part of this hidden group. They were scattered across different units and different planets, but they all shared the same secret emotions. Fear, hope, a desperate wish for peace. Then Jake found something bigger. A message that was different from the others. This one was not trying to hide. This one was trying to be found. Zara, look at this, Jake said. The message was coded, but badly, like the sender wanted it to be decoded. When Jake ran it through the translation program, his heart started beating faster. The message said, "We are many, we are ready, we need contact, we need proof you will listen." This is an invitation, Zara said softly. They want to talk. Jake called Barnes immediately. The major came down to look at the message himself. He read it 3 times. This could be a trap, Barnes said. It could be. Jake agreed. But what if it is not? If it is real, this changes everything. A Krell faction that wants peace? That could end the war. Or start a bigger one, Barnes said. If we respond, and their own military finds out, they will execute everyone involved. We will have killed people who were trying to help us. It was a terrible choice. Stay silent and miss a chance for peace. Respond and maybe get people killed. What do we do? Jake asked. Barnes was quiet for a long time. Finally, he said, I need to take this to Commander Bennett. This is above my level. 2 days later, Jake and Zara were called to a meeting. Commander Bennett was there. So was Admiral Frank Stevens, one of the highest-ranking officers in the coalition, and several other officers Jake did not recognize. They all looked at him like he was something strange and dangerous. Sergeant Morrison, Admiral Stevens said. His voice was cold. You have found something that could be very important, or very dangerous. Maybe both. Tell us everything. Jake explained what he had found. The hidden group, the messages, the invitation. While he talked, he could feel Zira's support through the bond. She was nervous too, but she believed in what they were doing. When he finished, the room was silent. This could be disinformation, one officer said. The Krell could be trying to trick us. Or it could be real, Commander Bennett argued. We need to find out. How? Admiral Stevens asked. We cannot just respond to this message. If the Krell military intercepts it, the entire rebellion will be crushed. We need to make contact in person, Jake said. Everyone turned to look at him. If they are serious, they will tell us how. We just need to show them we are listening. That would require going into Krell space, Stevens said. That is a suicide mission. I would be done. Maybe, Jake agreed. But it might also be the only way to end this war. The Admiral stared at him for a long moment. Then he looked at Zara. What do you think, Velani? Is this genuine? Zara stood up. She looked small next to all these human officers, but her voice was strong. I can feel the truth in these messages. These Krell are desperate. They are risking their lives to reach out. If we ignore them, we lose our chance for peace. If we answer them, we give hope to everyone who is tired of killing. Hope, the Admiral repeated. He sounded tired. Hope is dangerous. Hope gets people killed. So does war, Zira said quietly. The room was silent again. Finally, Admiral Stevens sighed. Commander Bennett, assemble a small team. Stealth insertion into Krell space. Make contact with this rebel group if you can. Sergeant Morrison, you are going with them. You and your companion are the only ones who can verify if this is real. Jake felt ice in his stomach. He was going back to war. But through the bond, Zara squeezed his hand. We can do this, she whispered in his mind. Together. Jake looked at the Admiral and nodded. When do we leave? The ship was called the Shadow's Edge. It was small and fast, designed for stealth missions. Captain Elena Martinez was the pilot. She was one of the best. She had flown through Krell space dozens of times and always made it back. Jake's team was small. Besides him and Zara, there was Ben Hughes and his companion Kevon. Ben was good with weapons and tactics. There was also Amy Winters and her companion Thess. Amy's special senses, enhanced by her bond, could detect Krell presence before any scanner could. 3 bonded pairs. That was the core of the team. But Commander Bennett had also sent 3 other soldiers. Ryan Cooper was Jake's old friend from before his injury. Ryan was a good man and a great fighter. Sam Carter was their explosives expert. She could blow up anything or disarm any bomb. And there was a medic named Pete Wilson. He insisted on coming because bonded pairs were too valuable to lose. This is crazy, Ryan said as they prepared to board the ship. We are flying into enemy space to meet rebels who might not exist. And if they do exist, they might shoot us anyway. Yeah, Jake agreed. It is crazy. So why are we doing it? Jake thought about the messages he had read. The fear and hope mixed together. People who wanted peace but were too afraid to ask for it openly. Because they asked for help, Jake said simply. Ryan shook his head, but he was smiling a little. You have changed, Jake. Before you got hurt, you would never do something like this. I know. Is it because of her? Ryan nodded toward Zira, who was checking equipment nearby. The alien? She has a name, Jake said quietly. And yes, she changed me. She showed me that enemies are not always what we think they are. I hope you are right, Ryan said. Because if you are wrong, we are all going to die. Next one. The mission briefing was quick. Captain Martinez explained the plan. They would enter Krell space near a planet called Tarsus 7. It was an industrial world, full of factories and supply depots. According to intelligence, the rebel group had strong presence there. We will send a coded response to their message, Martinez explained. If they are real, they will guide us to a safe landing zone. If they are not real, we will know pretty fast because every Krell ship in the sector will try to kill us. Great plan, Sam muttered. They launched at midnight. The trip through space was quiet. Everyone was nervous. Jake could feel not just his own fear, but Zara's too, and through her, he could sense Ben's and Amy's emotions. All the bonded pairs were connected in a small way, like threads in a web. Are you scared? Jake asked Zara silently through their bond. Yes, she answered honestly. But I am also hopeful. This is why I came to your world, to help make peace possible. What if we fail? Then we tried. That is more than most people can say. After 2 days of travel, they reached Krell space. Captain Martinez made the ship as quiet as possible. All non-essential systems were shut down. They drifted like a ghost through the dark. Sending the coded response now, Martinez said. Her fingers danced over the controls. They waited. Minutes felt like hours. Then the communications panel lit up. We have a response, Martinez said. They are sending coordinates. And they are telling us to hurry. Enemy patrols are searching for them. It is a trap, one of the other officers said over the radio from command. Maybe, Commander Bennett's voice replied. But you have your orders. Make contact. Martinez set course for the coordinates. As they got closer to Tarsus 7, Zira suddenly grabbed Jake's arm. Something is wrong, she said. I feel many Krell minds, angry ones. Amy spoke up from across the ship. She is right. There are Krell ships nearby. Lots of them. Can you tell if they see us? Martinez asked. Amy concentrated, her companion Thess holding her hand. No, they are not looking for us. They are looking for... Oh no. What? Martinez demanded. They are looking for the rebels. The Krell military knows something is happening. They are searching. Jake felt his stomach drop. We need to warn them. We cannot break radio silence, Martinez said. If we transmit, everyone will know we are here. If we do not warn them, the rebels will be caught. Jake argued. It was an impossible choice. Stay hidden and let innocent people die. Or reveal themselves and maybe die too. Jake looked at Zara. Through their bond, he felt her decision before she said it. We have to help them. Agreed, said Kivon through Ben. Agreed, said Thess through Amy. All 3 Velani companions had decided, and their human partners did not argue. Captain, open a channel, Jake said. We are going in. Martinez looked like she wanted to argue, but she saw the determination in Jake's eyes. This is going to get messy, she said, but she changed course, heading directly for the planet's surface. They sent an emergency transmission to the rebels. Hide. Loyalist forces are searching for you. We are coming. The response came immediately. Too late. They found us, under attack. Location? Martinez demanded. The rebels sent coordinates. Martinez pushed the ship faster. But as they entered the planet's atmosphere, alarms started screaming. We have been detected, Martinez said calmly. 4 Krell fighters incoming. Can we outrun them? Ryan asked. No, but I can outfly them. What happened next was terrifying. Martinez flew the shadow's edge like it was a toy. She dove between buildings, rolled through narrow canyons, and made turns that should have been impossible. The Krell fighters tried to follow, but Martinez was better. One crashed into a building. Another could not make a turn and flew straight into the ground. But the other 2 were still following, and they were shooting. The ship shook as weapons fire hit the shields. Shields at 60%, Martinez reported. We need to land now. There, Amy shouted, pointing. Through her bond-enhanced senses, she could see the rebel base. It was underground, hidden beneath an old factory. Martinez aimed for it. More weapons fire hit them. Shields were failing. Then one of the engines exploded. "Hold on," Martinez yelled. The ship crashed. It was not a landing. It was a controlled crash. They hit the ground hard, slid through the factory wall, and finally stopped in a shower of sparks and smoke. Jake's head was spinning. Blood ran down his face from a cut on his forehead. But he was alive. Through the bond, he felt Zara's relief. She was okay too. "Everyone out," Martinez ordered. "This ship is done." They grabbed their weapons and equipment and ran. Behind them, the Shadow's edge was on fire. The Krell fighters circled above, looking for a place to land. Jake saw a door in the floor of the factory. It was open. "There!" he shouted. They ran for it. Explosions erupted around them as the Krell fighters strafed the building. Sam threw a smoke grenade to cover them. They jumped through the door and down into darkness. They fell about 10 feet and landed in a tunnel. Emergency lights gave a dim red glow. And standing in front of them were Krell soldiers. Jake raised his weapon. Ryan did too. This was it. They were about to die. But the Krell did not shoot. Instead, one of them stepped forward and made a gesture. The same gesture from the intelligence reports. "A sign of truce from the rebels. Human friends," the Krell said in broken English. "Welcome. But you bring trouble." "Sorry about that," Jake said, lowering his weapon. "Are you the rebels?" "Yes, I am Krell soldier." "Name is?" The Krell made a clicking sound that Jake could not repeat. "You call me Click. Come. Not safe here. Loyalist forces coming." They followed Click and his soldiers deeper into the tunnels. Above them, they could hear explosions. The Loyalist forces were bombing the factory. The tunnel led to a large underground chamber. There were hundreds of Krell there. Soldiers, civilians, even some children. They all looked scared. An older Krell stepped forward. He was bigger than the others and covered in scars. He spoke in the Krell language. Click translated. "This is General Thaxikor. He leads the rebellion. He says thank you for coming. He says he did not think humans would answer." Jake looked at the general. Through Zara, he could feel the Krell's emotions. Fear. Hope. Desperation. The same things he had felt in the messages. "Tell him we came to listen," Jake said. "Tell him we want peace too." Click translated. The general's eyes widened. Then he spoke again. Quickly and urgently. "He says we must talk fast. Loyalist forces will find this place soon. They will kill everyone here. But if humans and rebels work together, maybe we can stop them. Maybe we can show both our peoples that peace is possible." Jake looked at his team. Ryan was bleeding from a cut on his arm. Sam was checking her equipment. Ben and Amy were communicating silently with their companions. Pete was already treating Captain Martinez's injured leg. They were battered and exhausted. Their ship was destroyed. They were trapped behind enemy lines, with rebels being hunted by their own military. It was the worst situation possible. But as Jake looked at General Thaxikor and his people, he felt something unexpected. He felt hope. "Tell the general we will help him," Jake said. "Tell him we are not leaving until we finish what we came here to do." Through the bond, Zira sent him a wave of pride and love. "I knew you were the right person for this," she whispered in his mind. "We are the right people," Jake corrected. "All of us. Together." And as explosions echoed above them, Jake, his team, and the Krell rebels began to plan. Not for war, but for peace. And maybe, just maybe, for a future where enemies could become friends. For 3 days, Jake and his team lived in the underground rebel base. The conditions were terrible. There was not enough food or water. The air was stale. Above them, Loyalist Krell forces continued to search. But despite everything, something remarkable was happening. Humans and Krell were working together. General Thaxikor explained the rebellion through Click's translation. Nearly 1/3 of all Krell forces wanted the war to end. They were tired. Their families were dying. Their planets were being destroyed. But the Krell High Command refused to even consider peace talks. They say peace is weakness. Click translated. They say we must fight until humans are destroyed, or we are. But we do not want this. We want to go home. Jake understood that feeling perfectly. Every soldier just wanted to go home. Sam and a Krell engineer named something Jake called Spark worked together on the communications equipment. They needed to send a message back to the coalition, but the signal had to be strong enough to reach across space while avoiding detection by the Loyalists. "This is impossible," Sam said on the second day. "We need more power." Spark clicked and gestured. Click translated. He says there is a power station 3 miles from here. But it is controlled by Loyalist forces. "Then we take it," Ben said simply. Ryan looked at him like he was crazy. "There are 8 of us and hundreds of them." "9 of us," Jake corrected, nodding to Zara. 12, Kevon said, speaking for the first time in English. "The 3 of us companions can fight too." General Thaxikor listened to this discussion. Then he spoke urgently. Click translated. "The general says, if you can take the power station, he can bring 50 rebel soldiers to help hold it, long enough to send your message." "And then what?" Ryan asked. "We all die when the Loyalist army shows up?" Nobody had a good answer for that. That night, Jake could not sleep. He sat in a corner of the rebel base, watching Krell children play with makeshift toys. They looked so different from human children, with their hard shells and multiple eyes. But their laughter sounded the same. Zara sat next to him. "You are thinking hard," she said softly. "I am thinking we might all die tomorrow," Jake said. "And I am wondering if it is worth it." "Do you remember what I showed you about my people's history?" Zara asked. "How we almost destroyed ourselves with war?" "Yes. We were saved by one moment. One group of soldiers from both sides who refused to fight. They put down their weapons and just talked. Really talked. Their leaders were furious. But their example spread. Others followed. The war did not end immediately. But it began to end. That moment was the start of everything good my people became." "You think this could be that moment?" Jake asked. "I know it is," Zira said. "I can feel it through the bond. Not just our bond, but all the bonds between our peoples. Something is changing. We just need to be brave enough to let it happen." Jake took her hand. "I am scared." "Good. Fear means you understand how important this is." The mission to take the power station happened before dawn. Jake led the human team. General Thaxikor led 50 rebel Krell. They moved through abandoned tunnels beneath the city. Amy and Thess guided them, sensing where Loyalist patrols were. They managed to avoid 3 different groups. But when they reached the power station, there was no way to avoid the guards. "How many?" Jake whispered to Amy. 20 Loyalists inside. Maybe more in the building next door. 20 against 60. Not terrible odds. But Jake did not want to kill them if he could avoid it. These Krell were just following orders, like he had done for 3 years. "I have an idea," Jake said. Through his bond with Zira, he reached out to Kevon and Thess. "Can all 3 of you project emotions together? Like a unity circle?" The 3 Velani looked at each other. "We have never tried," Kevon said. "But maybe." "What are you thinking?" Ben asked. "I am thinking we show them what we feel. No weapons, no tricks, just pure truth. Let them feel that we do not want to kill them, that we want peace." Ryan looked at him like he had lost his mind. "That is the craziest plan I have ever heard." "I know," Jake said. "But I think it might work." They approached the power station openly. No sneaking. Just walking up to the main door. The Loyalist Krell saw them immediately. Alarms started blaring. "Now," Jake said. Zara, Kevon, and Thess joined hands. Through their bonds with Jake, Ben, and Amy, they connected their minds. Then they pushed outward with everything they had. It was not words. It was pure feeling. Exhaustion from years of war. Love for families far away. Grief for friends who had died. Hope that someday the killing could stop. And above all, a desperate wish that things could be different. The emotional wave hit everyone in the area. Loyalist Krell guards stumbled. Some dropped their weapons. Human soldiers felt tears on their faces. Even the rebel Krell, who knew war better than anyone, were affected. One loyalist guard walked slowly to the door. He opened it and stepped outside. He looked at Jake, then at General Thaxikor, then at the three glowing Velani who were projecting so much raw emotion into the world. The guard spoke in the Krell language. Click translated, his voice shaking. He says he is tired. He says he wants to go home. He asks if we are really trying to make peace. Yes, Jake said. We are really trying. The guard turned and called to the others inside. One by one, they came out. 20 Krell soldiers. They laid down their weapons. Some were crying, though Jake did not know Krell could cry. The power station is yours, the lead guard said through click. Do what you came to do. But hurry. When the emotional projection fades, not everyone will remember why they let you through. Sam and Spark ran inside and started working. The rest stood guard. But they did not point weapons at the loyalist Krell, and the loyalist Krell did not try to stop them. It took 2 hours to get the communication system working. Finally, Sam came running out. We are ready. But we only have one chance. The moment we broadcast, every Krell ship in orbit will know where we are. Then we better make it count, Jake said. General, are you ready? Thaxikor stood tall. He spoke directly to the camera. Click translated his words into English while Sam recorded. I am General Thaxikor of the Krell military. I speak for millions of Krell who are tired of war. We do not want to destroy humans. We want peace. We want to go home. We ask for negotiations. We ask for the chance to build a future where our children do not have to fight. Then Jake stood next to the general. I am Sergeant Jake Morrison of the Human Coalition. I stand here with my companion Zara, a Velani. Together, we have seen that peace is possible. We have seen that enemies can become allies. We ask both our governments to listen. We ask them to be brave enough to try something different. This war can end. It should end. Let us end it together. Sam sent the transmission. It was broadcast to every human and Krell ship within range. Millions of people would see it. Done, Sam said. Now we run. They did not make it far. Krell warships appeared in the sky. Loyalist forces surrounded the power station. But something unexpected happened. The loyalist forces that surrounded them did not attack. Many of them had seen the broadcast. Many of them had felt the emotional projection. They stood there, weapons ready, but not firing. An older Krell commander approached. He spoke to General Thaxikor in their language. Click, translated in whispers. He says the High Command has ordered the general's execution. He says all rebels must surrender or be destroyed. But he says he saw the broadcast. He says his son died in this war. He is asking the general if peace is really possible. Tell him yes, Jake said. Tell him it is possible if people are brave enough to try. The commander looked at Jake for a long time. Then, he made a decision. He turned to his soldiers and gave an order. They lowered their weapons. The commander says he will not kill rebels today. Click translated. He says he will report that you all died in the battle. He says this war has taken enough lives. He says to go. Now. Before he changes his mind or before others arrive. They did not need to be told twice. They ran. Back through the tunnels. Back to the underground base. Behind them, they heard the commander ordering his soldiers to search the area but find nothing. He is letting us go, Ryan said in disbelief. They are really letting us go. Not everyone wants war, Zira said quietly. Sometimes they just need permission to stop fighting. Back at the base, they waited. Days passed. The coalition response came slowly. Half the leadership wanted to negotiate. Half wanted to court-martial Jake and everyone involved. But something had changed. The broadcast had been seen by millions. Humans saw Krell asking for peace. Krell saw humans standing next to rebels, trying to make peace happen. Regular soldiers on both sides started refusing orders. Some units declared their own ceasefires. The war did not end in one moment. But it began to end. And it began with Jake, Zira, and a group of rebels who were brave enough to try something different. 3 months later, formal peace talks began. They happened on a neutral station. Both governments sent representatives. And they requested that Jake and Zira attend as advisors. Jake stood on the observation deck, watching human and Krell diplomats talking together. It seemed impossible. 6 months ago, they were killing each other. Now, they were negotiating trade agreements. Did we really do this? He asked Zira. We started it, she said. But many people finished it. That is how peace works. One person starts, but everyone must choose to continue. Commander Bennett approached them. She was an admiral now, promoted for her role in the peace process. The coalition wants to expand the bonding program, she said, not just for wounded soldiers, for diplomats, scientists, teachers. They want to build connections between species. That is good, Jake said. They want you to run it, you and Zara. You showed everyone what is possible. Jake looked at Zara. Through their bond, he felt her excitement and pride. We will do it, he said. Years passed. The bonding program grew. Thousands of humans, Krell, and Velani formed connections. The war became history. New generations grew up in peace. Jake and Zara became teachers. They showed others how to form bonds, how to understand beings different from yourself, how to see enemies as potential friends. One day, a young soldier came to them. She had been injured in an accident. She was scared. Will the bond change me? She asked. Yes, Jake said honestly. It will change you. It changed me. For better or worse. Jake looked at Zara. His partner. His companion. His other half. Through their bond, he felt her love and support. The same feelings he felt every day for 6 years now. For better, he said. Always for better. The young soldier agreed to the bonding. And as Jake watched her meet her Velani companion for the first time, he remembered his own first meeting with Zara. The fear. The hope. The moment everything changed. One bond had led to peace between 3 species. One connection had ended a war. One human soldier and one alien companion had shown the galaxy what was possible, and it all started with a simple choice. The choice to trust. The choice to try. The choice to believe that enemies could become family. Jake took Zara's hand. Thank you, he said, for everything. Thank you, she replied. For being brave enough to change. Together, they watched the future being built. A future where bonds connected everyone. Where understanding replaced fear. Where former enemies worked side by side to build something better. The war was over. The peace had begun. And it would last, because millions of people chose every day to maintain their connections, to honor their bonds, to remember that they were all part of something bigger than themselves. One soldier, one companion, one bond that altered everything.